Let's go ahead and get into this discussion of the Fantastic Four. Now, I want to talk about how good this trailer really is. And it's not even because it's Fantastic Four. It's not even because it's Marvel. It's not because it's a superhero movie or it's a big budget summer blockbuster film with a lot of money behind. No, it has nothing to do with any of that at all. I watched this trailer and I was so impressed, and I said, you know what? The rest of y'all need to look at this right here. You know what? Let's go ahead and watch trailer number 2 for the upcoming Fantastic Four movie that is properly set, or is about to be properly set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And believe me, Marvel could use a hit right now. This looks like it could probably be the one to start getting things back on track. But again, that's not the reason why I am why I'm praising this movie so much. But let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer, and we'll be back to discuss what I'm talking about and a lot of things. People, I was so impressed watching this trailer. Now listen, you know, back in the day when Marvel was in its prime, you know, the Marvel MCU or the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I would have been up, black ass dancing all around this room talking about shit. You know, look, I don't really do that anymore because my expectations have just been tempered over the years. You know, I'm not saying that I've grown jaded. No, not at all. Still love movies, still get excited for them, but we've had so many disappointments over the years, and this one could be the same. You know, I don't know, but why am I impressed with this? Because I think that, given the trend with trailers lately, we've all complained about this, especially with the bigger a movie is, the more effects there are, the more money is behind it. They want to make their money so bad in that movie they show you everything. And we all talk about it. We say, they just show way too much these days. And I remember back in the day, like that was the wrong way to sell a movie. You teased and you teased and you teased and teased some more on top of that. You got blue balls watching a trailer. And that was a good thing. If the blue of those balls, the better that trailer was. And that's what I'm getting with this trailer right here. Now look, I already kind of like what they're showing me with the Fantastic Four. I love the retro the feel of this. You know, the retro 60s feel with this. I love, listen, y'all, we just had a whole big discussion about how inaccurate these characters are from these past movies. All of them. Every single damn one of them. Unless you were watching the cartoon from the 60s or something, or from the 80s or whatever. Unless you were watching the animated form of them, these live action things, they were horrendous. We have yet to get a proper thing, and this looks like the closest thing we're going to get to it. You know, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited with them. I'm not all about nostalgia, but I remember Herbie from the cartoons. I'm glad they're putting characters in like that. We talked about all of this, man. I think Pedro Pascal, I don't think that he's he's not my version of Reed Richards if I would have cast, but he's a great actor, and I have confidence that he'll bring something to this. You know, there's a lot of things that they're doing that I think is right, but you still will never know until you see the film. So what's got me so excited with this is the fact that they are just teasing things and not telling you about, you know, they're getting you excited about enough visuals. It's getting you excited about enough story. You know, like I said, they're teasing some small things that could have a big impact later.
You're late.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You're late for dinner.
Are you pregnant?
What?
You know, I never thought I'd see the thing even remotely talking about periods. But, you know, that's a cool thing that they're doing right there. You know, who knows? You know, they're already teasing, a fantastic baby. You know, who knows what impact that's going to have later on if this works out. We're finally, you know, something that we didn't see really in the first trailer. Maybe we did. We just saw a glimpse. But something that we're seeing right now is Silver Surfer.
Your planet is now marked for death.
People, now before y'all start going in and all you diversity haters start bitching and complaining, it's already been established that this is an existing character in the comics. All right, she even got a name, Shalabal. You know, that's the Silver Surface chick right there. If you want to get real nerdy, his name is Norrin Rad. But yeah, that's his side thing right there. You know, when he's not destroying planets, he's hitting that silver ass right there. We finally get to see something that we did not see in the first trailer. Our teaser. We finally get to see Reed Richards stretch. Now, some people I've already read some people saying, "Man, I don't know, that looks too CG to me." Well, yeah, it is too CG. What do you expect? I mean, what you want? You want Pedro Pascal to stretch in real life? What do you expect? Yeah, CG. You think gonna put Pedro Pascal on a rack and stretch him out until he gets linguini arms? I mean, what do you think? How do you think they're gonna do it? Yes, it's CG. And I don't know what you expect. Don't look any sillier than some other things they do with these superhero movies. Y'all listen. Y'all better be happy with what you're getting right here, because I tell you, it could be a whole lot worse. Listen. This is one area I don't think that you want practical effects to come out looking like this.
Super stretch, Mr. Fantastic can stretch up it.
You want that? Okay. Look, I've seen practical stretching. Reed Richards. We just saw it ourselves. What do we see here? Where my man put that leg out.
Doom.
Look, you've seen these practical effects, how they are. This man's lips can't even move right. Oh, here it is.
They must utilize all
The damn leg already stretched out. You never saw it stretching. Listen, believe me, I've been in the prehistoric times. You do not want practical effects for Reed Richards. I've seen that, and it's a frightening thing. It's a horrible thing. And even, listen, y'all talking about CG like we haven't had worse. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, and believe me, we have had much worse CG with Reed Richards stretching. Look at this right here. Look, this man up here doing the wave, and it could be a lot worse, y'all. And y'all know this. Leave that man alone. But the biggest tease that they have here, Galactus just strolling down Fifth Avenue, man. Big ass feet. So I think that that's really cool. And I think this is one of the things where I saw this, because I thought, you know what? All right, let's get to the end of the trailer where you show Galactus rising into the shot with his mouth wide open, reaching for a planet or something. I thought that they were going to actually show him, and they don't. I mean, they show his damn, size 3,000 feet right here, but they don't show him, and that is really something I'm very happy about. This is something that they used to do a long time ago. Whatever their biggest effect was of the star creature of the movie was, they didn't show it. They teased it. Like with this, you got to see a foot or a hand or the back of a head or something, or something like that. You never saw the creature. If you want to see it, you had to go to the movie. And I like that they're doing that here. And I think that this is going to be a really badass version of Galactus. We've all been waiting for an accurate, badass version of Galactus. And I think that they've done it. I think that they know that they got something cool on their hands, and that's why they're not showing it. Now, listen, it's going to be a while before the movie comes out. If they're smart, they'll keep doing this. They will not show him. Maybe we'll get a horn or something, part of his helmet. But if they're smart, they'll keep it like this. And if you want to see Galactus, and we've all wanted to see it for years, hell, in one movie, Galactus was a cloud and a shadow. So if we want to see this, you go to the movie to see it. The internet will spoil it the next day, because it's the internet. And that's the age we're living in. But at least we'll have that one day where everybody will have to go to the movie to see this. They want to see that. But you know, it's just not teasing visuals here, because that's what I've been mostly talking about. I talked a little bit about story with Sue Reed's being pregnant, but you know, I like that they're teasing stories here. You know, and the way trailers again were made today. Listen, if they wouldn't tease you the story, they tell you the whole story. And if they didn't show you everything, you could easily fill in the gaps yourself because they gave you that many details. You know, not here. That is the opposite of what they're doing. You know, they're just dropping, and I like what they're doing right here. They're dropping hints that, you know, something really terrible might happen in this movie.
We will protect you.
You know, I am not convinced that he probably will. You know, I'm not convinced that will happen. You know, I'm actually worried that he will not. You know, there's a lot of things to indicate in this movie that this cool retro 60s world that they're in, that is going to be completely destroyed. Like, Galactus is going to eat that shit like an apple. You know, it's going to be gone. You know, there's Reed's uncertainty. Again, just a drop of a hint. There's his that scene where he's not sure if they can save the world.
Are we safe?
I don't know.
That's the last thing you want to hear from your hero. I don't know. You know, I remember being a kid. That's the last thing I want to hear from my parents, who to me knew everything. Hey, we're gonna be all right. I remember speaking of old movies, I had an I don't know moment with my mom. I went to go see E.T. And if you've seen E.T., spoilers, I'm sorry, the movie's over 30 years old, almost 40 years old, if not over 40 years old. E.T. was dying. He was all ashy. He was looking like, you know, grandma's feet and everything. It was like, he was gray. And as a kid, I don't know. You know, I'm not smart enough to know if he's gonna live or not. And I remember tugging on my mom in the seat next to me, and I was like, "Mama, is E.T. gonna be all right?" And she looked at me and she said, "Baby, I don't know." And I remember turning around and I was horrified. Tears just flowed down my face. She was supposed to tell me, yes, he'll be okay. But she broke it down to me. It's like, you're becoming a man now. You must know the honest truth. Mama don't know. And I remember like, damn, if Mama don't know, she ain't no hope at all. Of course, he lived, but you know, even my mama didn't know that. That's the moment that I'm having right here. Like Reed Richards telling them, I don't know. It makes me think that, you know, even he thinks that this is not going to end well. Also, they, you know, there's his guilt indicating that, you know, if this planet is destroyed, this world is destroyed that he's in, it's going to weigh heavy on him, and it's going to carry over into the rest of the MCU whenever they come into the proper timeline.
It's my fault. I stretched the bounds of space.
Stretched.
And they hurt.
You know, that right there, listen, I don't know if anything I'm saying right now is going to happen. It might have the happiest ending in the world. You know, it might have the happiest ending in the whole MCU. But this movie is making me feel like I'm not sure. It's giving me my E.T. moment right now. And, you know, I want to see this movie. Even though I'm dreading what might happen, it makes me want to see what is going to happen. I think that this trailer, again, you know, they put I always talk about teases. Teases are just, you know, they're nothing, man, today. What they should be teasing is the movie in the actual trailer. Don't give us everything. So whether you are impressed with this or not, you know, whether you think that this is going to be good or not, whether you're looking forward to it or not, you do have to give them credit for making a really well-constructed trailer. You know, they showed you just enough. They told you just enough. So at least that's what I think. You know, I'm excited for it for that. If you know, like I said, I'm not really excited for Marvel movies that much, but if you can get my curiosity piqued, if you can get my interest going, you know, I'm in. Might not be like I used to be, but I do admire this trailer. Admire it a lot. So we'll see what happens. And we'll see what happens. And this will be here before we know it. When is this coming out? Oh, July. Ooh. Seems like a long time, but time passes fast, man. It'll be just a couple of months. I think it's July 25th that this is coming out. All right. So we don't have too much longer to wait. So it'll be here before you know it. And who wants to go see a bad movie? You know, I'm not hoping it. I don't hope bad things for any movie unless it really deserves it. And some movies, you know what I'm talking about. Some movies are such a cash grab, it's like whatever. And still, I don't even want that movie to fail. But this right here, you know, I want to go see a good Fantastic Four movie. Believe me, I've lived through some dark Fantastic Four times. They were not fantastic at all. I've waited decades for a proper Fantastic Four movie. And so maybe that's where my hopes are getting a little bit high for this too, because it's the closest thing I've seen to an actual accurate Fantastic Four movie. But we shall see. We shall see. Do you think Disney's hands with the Fantastic Four equals they would do better than what Fox been struggling? Oh man, look, y'all, it already looks better. It already looks better. Now I can't really say when we see the movie because, you know, Marvel got a track record, but I do think that them being able to go in and do more accurate versions of those characters and also having them in the Marvel universe. That's the fun of watching these heroes. That's the fun of reading comics, man. Superhero comics, watching them interact with other characters in the universe. But there's a lot of things we didn't get proper versions of. We didn't get a proper version of the Thing. Like I said, I will continue to say he looked like an orange turd. Ooh, that Thing in that last movie. How do you go from making a mediocre to bad Thing to making it worse? How do you go from making a bad Fantastic Four movie to making it worse? You know, you usually strive to get better. Like they had a bad Fantastic Four movie, and people were saying it's bad because it's not accurate. And then they went and made something that was less accurate. They went from, okay, you're trying, but you're failing because you probably don't have the money or whatever, or the knowledge or whatever to do it right. But I can see where the effort is there. How you go from that to what the fuck is going on here? How you go from that to crazy? Like they pretty much made almost a horror movie with that last Fantastic Four movie, and nobody asked for that. Whatever they were trying to, nobody asked them to make an experimental David Cronenberg movie, and whatever other crazy ass David you want to put in there. Nobody asked them to make that. How you gonna do that? We ask you to get better. We ask you to get more accurate. And then this man went over here and made this and just made not even anything that resembled the Fantastic Four.
I just want to fix my friends.
You can't fix this.
That looked like something off the Muppet Show or Sesame Street. Look at this right here. That looks like a damn Ernie made out of rocks. They went from trying to work with what they had to make the Thing to fuck it. We do whatever we want to.
You don't know how to close. You don't know anything about what's coming.
Yeah, neither do you. You knew nothing about what you were doing. Oh, people. It looked like a Taco Bell chicken nugget. As Gloria said. Oh. For nostalgia's sake, can we see some of the trailer for the 2005 one? It's amazing that this trailer right here makes one of the worst Fantastic Four movies looks actually decent. Let me see here. So they got the trailer. This one makes the 2005 Fantastic Four Roger Corman movie, it makes it look like it's actually a good film. That movie had no budget, and yet their version of the Thing looks so much better than this damn thing right here. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the 2005. Yeah, let's do that. No, wait a minute. No. That's 1994. I'm sorry. 2005 was a masterpiece compared to 2015. I'm thinking of 1994. Have y'all seen the 1994 Fantastic Four movie? That movie, you can only find bootlegs of it. You cannot find an actual copy of it because I think it's illegal to sell it. It's that bad. But that movie was just made so that I think Marvel could keep the rights to. There was some rights thing that was involved with it. It was just made as some sort of tax write-off or some way to keep the rights to the Fantastic Four or something like that. Y'all could tell me if you know the history of this. It was made by a dude named Roger Corman. And for anybody who heard that they were making a Fantastic movie back in 1994, people were like, oh, wow, I can't wait for that. Who's making it? Roger Corman. Oh, no, shit. You know, when you heard that, you knew that it was doomed. No pun intended. Let me see here. Yeah, you can't. It's like Batgirl, the recent Batgirl movie that they shelved, except you can't find anything of that anywhere. This movie, yeah, they tried to bury it. I think if it did get a release, it got like a release in the theater for a few hours or something. You can't buy it anywhere. Back at comic book conventions, it was a huge thing because that's how you got it. You got like a physical bootleg copy of it. It was back in the days when you would trade VHS tapes with people and maybe DVDs or something. But yeah, you couldn't find it anywhere. Thanks to the internet now. Internet, hell yeah, you can find anything out there. But yeah, let me see here. But thank you, Dwayne Herndon. Yeah, here's the Fantastic Four movie trailer.
Went wrong. Genetically transformed, they become the most powerful superhero.
Oh, these special effects, boy. And now some of you young people thinking, well, man, special effects were bad in 1994. No, they were not. Keep in mind, y'all, this is after Jurassic Park. You have special effects in 1994 that look like they were made in 1984, maybe even 1974.
But the forces of evil are out to destroy their...
And I'm going to tell you something. This version of Doctor Doom, that's one of the coolest things they had in the movie. Way more accurate than the version that they had in that 2015 movie. If you think about it, this little cheap-ass movie right here, they probably have the most accurate version of Doctor Doom out of all these expensive-ass studio movies that came out afterwards. Yes, even the ones from 2005 or whatnot. This Doom is actually, somebody said crash test Doom right here. It's cheap, but it's Doom. He's got the hoodie. He's got the metal face. I'm serious, y'all. This movie's terrible. This movie's horrible. It is so cheap. I mean, you can just feel the struggle from this poor little movie right here. But the effort that they put into it is sometimes better than some of the efforts that we have in these later Fantastic Four movies.
And to survive, they must utilize all their strength.
Was that Mr. Fantastic straight? I don't know. I was daydreaming or something. I was laughing or something. Let me see here.
Must utilize all their strength.
See? Now that's where you just feel sorry for these So they couldn't always have him stretch because they didn't have the budget for that, of course, and they didn't have they could have done some CG, but it would look terrible, and they didn't have the money for it. This poor little movie. So they would already have scenes where he was already stretched out. So you didn't see him actually in the process of stretching. He was already stretched for certain scenes, right? There's a scene at the end of the movie where I think Reed Richards and Sue, they just got married. I don't remember this movie that well, but I think they got married and are driving away, and Reed Richards is trying to wave at everybody, and you can tell it's a big old rubber hand and an arm, and it's just bouncing all over the place. Yeah, this big ass leg right here, man. Like you could tell that this is a damn stick attached to his regular leg, and so yeah, like I said, you hardly ever saw him in the process of stretching. Most scenes he was already stretched because they couldn't afford the actual stretching part.
Doom.
That's an obvious puppet, right? Right, of course it is. And let me see here. That's obviously a puppet. It moves like a puppet. You can see the animatronics pulling it, and it's still This thing here still looks more, this CG looks more like a puppet than, look at this. As bad as that is way more accurate than this thing right here. That CG looks more puppet-like than this actual puppet that we see here in the 1994 movie. Oh, Mal.
Doom. It's clobbering time.
Clarendine.
Fantastic Four.
Oh, wow. Nothing fantastic about that at all. Fantastically bad is what that is. Yeah, the Doom. Like a lot of times they couldn't even put the lips together. Doom. Somebody said MF Doom. Don't you dare compare MF Doom. Don't you even say that name while I'm talking about this trailer right here. Don't you ever relate MF Doom to any of this bullshit right here. I don't ever want to hear you do that again. Blasphemy. So when this new Fantastic Four movie comes out, that is why everybody is really excited, because of this stuff that I just showed you right here. How horrible all that stuff is.